I think the game's changing a lot. I think the way I learned to play golf is not the way people learn today. I'm learning new things about how to play on tour, how to kind of survive on tour, keep pace with this new generation, or try to at least.
He was my GOAT, but for Adam Scott, calling someone your greatest of all time wasn't just talk, it was heartbreak. It was the pressure of a nation waiting decades for an Australian to win the Masters. His swing was powerful but wild. Something was missing. Then Scott figured it out. He didn't need to be the GOAT. He needed to learn from 5 of them. If you're loving this, hit hype right now and give some hype to this video. It helps us reach more golf fans who want championship secrets. Scott realized greatness wasn't about copying one legend. It was about extracting lessons from 5 different masters. They became the foundational pillars of his identity. In 2013, when Scott won the Masters, every one of these 5 had a fingerprint on that victory. The pressure had been building. Raw talent wasn't enough. He needed wisdom from the legends. Number 5, Fred Couples. Fred Couples is the coolest guy in golf. Scott admires how Couples made everything look effortless. His swing was lazily elegant. The power was explosive despite appearing relaxed. Scott didn't copy his swing. Instead, he borrowed the core principle. A swing doesn't need to look violent to be powerful. Couples remained competitive into his 60s because his swing wasn't built on raw force. That longevity mattered to Scott. Scott admired Couples' presence. He was composed, relaxed, yet fiercely competitive. Couples showed Scott you could be both relaxed and dominant. That became Scott's trademark. Gracious but private, elegant but powerful, cool under pressure. Number 4, Ernie Els. Ernie Els, the Big Easy. Scott and Els understand what it means to be outsiders on the American tour. They both represent global golf and share an international perspective. Els taught Scott about rhythm in a way that complemented Couples. Where Couples was lazily elegant, Els was poetry in motion. His swing generated effortless power. Both players possess a rare ability to generate significant clubhead speed while appearing to exert minimal effort. Both players have Hall of Fame tempo. It's not about pure speed. It's about perfect consistency and sequencing. They both transition smoothly from backswing to downswing. That smooth transition allows them to hit far while maintaining control. Scott specifically tried to mimic Els' swing during development years. He wanted that power and balance combination. He wanted to look barely engaged while hitting the ball 300 yards. Els became a mentor figure and international brother. They competed together in the President's Cup multiple times. That team event created a deep bond between them. Scott watched how Els balanced personal excellence with team leadership. He saw how Els navigated being a non-American star and maintained pride in his heritage. Scott applied those same principles to his own career. Number 3, Jack Nicklaus. Jack Nicklaus represents the ultimate benchmark. 18 major championships, a record that defined the sport. Scott viewed Nicklaus as the highest standard of excellence and integrity. Nicklaus was a thinker. He outmanaged opponents more than he outswung them. He played chess while others played golf. Scott absorbed Nicklaus's approach to course management. You don't just hit good shots. You hit shots that position you perfectly. You think 3 holes ahead. You eliminate careless decisions. This is critical in majors, where margins are razor thin. Scott applied this throughout his entire game. Nicklaus also taught Scott about mental poise under pressure. You could acknowledge pressure while staying relaxed. Scott used this during his Masters victory. He stayed calm when it mattered most. He played with intelligence and confidence combined. Scott admires Nicklaus's mind, but didn't copy his swing. The Nicklaus swing is unique and difficult to replicate. Instead, Scott borrowed the fundamentals: grip, posture. These are the foundations Nicklaus emphasized. Scott focused on these basics while building his own style. Number 2, Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods is the modern standard of excellence. Scott's entire career has been shaped by the Tiger era. When Tiger arrived, he changed what championship golf requires. He demanded more, better conditioning, more intensity, absolute focus on every single shot. Woods can win under any circumstances. Injured, sick, playing poorly, it doesn't matter. That resilience impressed Scott deeply. In 2012, Scott reached the Open Championship final at Lytham. But on the final holes, something broke. He bogeyed the last 4 holes and lost to Ernie Els. That was tough to swallow. But Scott remembered the Woods standard: Champions bounce back. He didn't let one collapse define him. Wood's emotional detachment under pressure fascinated Scott. Most players get tighter in crucial moments. Wood stays calm. His hands stay smooth. His mind stays clear. He treats every shot the same. Number 1. Greg Norman. Greg Norman, the great white shark. Norman is the reason Australian golfers dream about winning majors. For 3 decades, he was the face of Australian golf. He spent 331 weeks at world number 1. He showed the world that Australians could compete at the highest level. He was a singular cultural force that redefined what Australian golf could achieve globally. Norman became Scott's first mentor in spirit. Any Australian golfer in the 1980s and 90s looked at Norman and thought, that's the blueprint. Norman played aggressive. He had charisma and style. When Scott was young, he wanted to be Greg Norman. But Norman also experienced heartbreak. 3 times he finished runner-up at the Masters. That heartbreak became Scott's motivation. Norman had shown the path and the price of the path. When Scott won the Masters in 2013, he immediately thanked Norman. He said, Norman provided the inspiration and belief needed to survive Augusta National. Scott framed his victory as a tribute to Norman. It was deeply meaningful for everybody in Australian golf. Norman mentored Scott throughout his career. He shared everything he'd learned. When Scott became successful, he started mentoring younger Australians like Jason Day. 5 lessons converging in one perfect moment. Scott became what Norman was for him. He mentored younger Australians. He showed them the same path. Today, Scott stands as a bridge. Behind him are the legends who shaped him. Ahead are the players he's shaping. He took inspiration from the greatest and became great himself. So there you have it. 5 legendary players, 5 powerful lessons, 1 incredible blueprint. If you loved this story, smash that like button hard. Subscribe and hit notification so you never miss our deep dives into sports greatness.
Drop a comment and tell us, which legend would you steal one trait from? Let's go.